Hey there, I'm CCP Dolan here with CCP Rise, bringing you the 10th match of Day 2 of the NEO2 Open 2 with No Boundaries in red versus Team Footwork in blue. Team Footwork, one of the favorite teams from the SCL. What have they brought today?
Lot of strange stuff going on once again. So for the No Boundaries team, you can see now 2 Armageddons, an EOS and a Neros, Malediction, and 2 Merlins. First Armageddon-based team we've seen, or at least, primarily
Strong
first
Armageddon core,
first double
yeah.
Armageddon, I guess is what I'm trying to say. On the Footwork side, we have a Paladin, along with an EOS, a Guardian, Maulus, a couple Ishkars, and a couple Tristans. So Footwork trying out the kind of Marauder variation that has that command ship and logistics, which is actually exactly what we saw with the Golem last match.
But I'll tell you what, if there's one thing you don't want to see as a Paladin, it's 2 Armageddons.
It's true. Neutralizers are one of the best ways to deal with a Marauder, and Armageddons will definitely have those, so that doesn't help. You're absolutely right. And you can see, actually, by the way, in that last shot, you should have been able to see all the battleships started very close to each other. The Paladin's at 0, which is something we've seen a lot because nobody minds getting shot at in a Marauder.
Oh wow, they're primarying the Paladin first.
They do have a web on the Oneros. They might try to switch to that. Remember, the damage from the Footwork team will be a bit lagged because they're drone based, so depending on which drones they use, it may take a minute for them to get to their targets.
So the No Boundaries team is all drone based as well. The Armageddons.
Yep. Wow, look at that Paladin melt.
They're just crushing the Paladin. They have all that cap pressure.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The neutralizers, really, really bad news for the Paladin. They turn off the guns too, but the big thing is they turn off the reps. The bonus the Bastion mode gives to the tank on Marauders is always active. It's shield boosters and armor repairs. So in this case, the Paladin will have just plain old armor reps, and you can see he has an enormous amount of repping power. His HP comes back very fast. But the cap pressure is really important. They turn those reps off, and he just melts.
And the thing is, when he's running the reps now, he actually doesn't want to be doing that. Like, he really wishes they'd shoot something else, but when he's running that rep on himself, he's also putting cap pressure on himself. He's just going to be completely capped out, unable to fire his guns, unable to really do anything. Even if he has boosters, he'll get one cycle before that cap is instantly gone, and he has to time that cycle perfectly. If he gets caught, boosting his cap in between the activating and closing the rep, he's in a lot of trouble.
You can see those Armageddons have some missile launchers as well, so it's not all neutralizers in the highs for them. Paladin's still tanking okay for now, and in the meantime, the No Boundaries Oneros has been tackled and neutralized as well. So if Footwork can get a lot of damage over there to that Oneros, things could swing. I mean, if they're able to take him down, they can start working on some of the main damage from the No Boundary side and maybe save that Paladin. Although he's starting to hurt pretty bad once again.
The big thing, well, he's still able to activate a cycle here, but the big thing is that they they have to keep that Guardian damped out. If the Guardian gets in range of the Paladin can unbastion, micro jump drive away, and catch some reps from the Guardian and get maybe even some cap transfers.
That's true, and actually, since you say that, I'm a little surprised the Paladin hasn't gone for a micro jump anyway. He's not scrammed right now.
Yeah, he is.
So he would only have to survive for 10 seconds. During the time between when he shuts Bastion off and when the MJD activates. If he can live through that window, he could jump right now.
He's really
hurting pretty bad.
Low.
It's probably not an option at this point for him to turn Bastion off. Or maybe he did, and that's why he's going low. I'm not sure. But he's going into structure now. He really needs to get another couple cycles in, or he's going to be in bad shape. At the same time, though, the No Boundaries on Neros does drop.
But I'll trade no Neros for Paladin any day.
Yeah.
There he goes. That's the Paladin down. That's Team Footwork's Paladin permanently destroyed. Team Footwork, one of the best teams in the SCL, is actually getting in not a good position here against No Boundaries. So all the Armageddon's up, all of them full armor, no logistics left, but they'll be able to hold for quite some time. Armageddon are particularly tanky, even with drone damage amplifiers in the lows.
Yeah, I mean, there's so little damage left for Footwork now. Not only do they have kind of a high point support wing because of the command ship and the Guardian, which means they don't have much damage from that, but also their support isn't even very damage focused. They have Mauluses. The Tristans and Ishkars are okay, but it's not like there's a ton of damage in that support
Now
wing.
they've caught the Guardian here. The Guardian's going to go down relatively quickly, especially once the Armageddons... What drones have the Armageddons dropped?
I'll check that out. Looks like there's Ogres. Yeah, mostly Ogre 2s, I think.
Yeah, once the Ogres... Well, they won't even need to get the Ogres to that Guardian there.
There's Curators on the field as well, but I think those are from earlier. It looks like the fight's moved past that, and there's definitely a bunch of Ogres right around that logistics ship.
Yep,
of course...
There goes the EOS is the new primary here.
And Guardian down.
Yep. It's just going to melt from here. That's going to probably be Team Footwork out of the tournament in a 0-2. One of the teams that I was really rooting for. If I had to stick my money on any team to get really far, Team Footwork would be one of them.
That is really, really interesting. I think this is the first time we've seen a non-Golem No, that's not true. There was another Marauder that wasn't a golem that lost. Marauder's not doing so great overall. They're now probably like 2 or 3 wins and 4 or 5 losses or something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
Not doing amazing. And this Armageddon setup is something we haven't seen at all. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
It seemed really, really perfect for this
And
match.
it's really scalpel. It's really just like a nightmare to come in at 0 as a paladin versus 2 Armageddons. If you can't micro jump drive away, like you'd have to micro jump drive away at the very start of the match, get out.
I
so
do
you
think
don't get
it's
scrammed.
strange that he didn't try to go for that at some point.
Maybe he just didn't have one.
One of the big weaknesses for the Armageddons is the range and speed. Like they have a range bonus for the newts, but it still doesn't make them that long. It's like 35k or something like that. I guess one thing he may have been scared of is that they would have had MGDs of their own, and then no matter where he went, they would have followed, and then he would have been with less support.
No, but he MGDs every minute. Those Armageddons
It's true.
can't
It's true.
do
He
that.
could just outrun them. He could do it once and then go for it again a couple minutes later. I don't know. That would have been an interesting choice. He may have just been scared to ever drop Bastion because he was taking so much damage right from the start.
And this is No Boundaries showing another way that you can deal with the Paladin setup.
By the way, an Armageddon is almost dead.
Yeah, but still, there'll be
probably
an Armageddon
fine.
left versus 2 Ishkars and 2 Tristans.
I mean, one thing about Armageddons, though, most of their damage will be from drones, which can be killed. And they don't have all that much damage anyway. They do have a drone damage bonus. Like I said, they have some missile launchers on these Armageddons, but it'll probably only be a couple. There won't be damage mods for them. So if they kill...
Tristan boundary violation, I'm almost certain.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Boom. That's like psychic power. I wasn't even looking at anything that would tell me that. I just saw it disappear.
There's like Merlins who could definitely have killed the Tristan too.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Yep, dude. I'm like...
How do you do it?
it's like the Matrix. I don't even actually. So, for instance, you in the viewer stream in Twitch see a whole fancy stream set up here. We actually just see code. It's just code streaming down like the Matrix. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Way to play along, Season B Rise. Thanks. Okay, Ishkar going down for Team
Always
Footwork.
here to support you.
Only a Mullis and Tristan left. They're not even going to get that Armageddon down, I think, here.
No, maybe not.
But
you know, the fact... Well,
what a way to deal with that Paladin. It's like, hey, I have the perfect counter for you.
You can see the Armageddon's actually running Gnosses there. That's... Are those newts? Oh, they're just newts. Never mind. They look too red to be newts. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think they're going to finish that Geddon off. Really cool match. I wonder how this No Boundary setup would do if it wasn't against the Marauder. I think it's pretty strong that it does do well against this. I wonder... Like, it feels too perfect. Like, it makes me feel like they knew they were going to fight a Paladin. This is a really good way to deal with it. And it's so rare, I think, that you would want to go straight for the Marauder itself. That's only going to happen in a situation where you can cap it out really easily, which most setups in this tournament wouldn't be able to do. Maybe the ones with curses. But
it's a little confusing. Like, Team Footwork is a team. I have seen almost every name in there as a veteran Team Footwork pilot. Been through multiple tournaments with each other. Like, who's leaking this setup? Who's leaking what they're bringing here? To No Boundaries, ostensibly a team that doesn't really have a ton of storied history, unless I'm completely wrong. I need to find their name on this sheet.
I mean, there's not always... it's not always... leaks that lead to intel getting out. There's plenty of ways to find out what your opponents are doing.
Never mind, it's Rote and Grun. So, a bunch of Syndicate people. So they actually are pretty good.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely a good team. I think this is a very solid composition. I don't think this is like some kind of fluke, but it is very unexpected. I wonder if they'll bring Armageddons out again, or if this was just a particular solution to this team and this Marauder that they, for some reason, knew they were going to be up against.
Well, it certainly wasn't telegraphed by either bands. I think the bands were pretty simple. Like, it was like Ishtar Dami, something like that. But they just, like, got really lucky. They rolled the dice here and came up with a jackpot. Although you can't actually get a jackpot by rolling dice. You only get, like, a 6.
I don't know. I think the Geddons might not... I mean... It's definitely possible that they knew they were going to be up against a Paladin. They brought the Geddons to deal with that. It's also possible that the Geddons are just very good. One thing we saw a lot last Alliance tournament was Armageddons alongside Balgorns, and they did really well. It's a lot different than the Abaddons in that it's very flexible. There's a lot of different things it can deal with, and with less points, I don't know if we'll see that pairing necessarily, but I could see this setup doing well against a lot of things. It'd probably do really well against some of those like fast-paced Galente-based setups as well.
I haven't seen any Balgorns either. I'd like to see them.
No, it's kind of interesting.
They're party machines.
Balgorns would be very good against Marauders as well. But with less, I guess, less battleship focus, the Balgorns do quite as much, and they're very expensive point-wise. So
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing with the Vindicators. They're just so expensive.
yep.
Like that price tag is ridiculously high. I think it's 20 points.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Uh,
So, of course, they're not going to catch these ships, it doesn't look like. Merlin's not even trying. They're going 300 meters a second. One thing we haven't, I don't know how we haven't talked about it so far in this tournament, because we always talk about it constantly, but you can actually grab loot off the field. So I guess
Time to-
there isn't going to be like flagship loot or anything, but it's not uncommon to see teams, rather than chase down these last 2 frigates, just grab a couple extra Tech 2 mods off their opponents and just wait for the clock to run out.
who knows?
Which,
You could steal their entire setup if you got lucky with the loot gods. Just buy the ships and you're good to go.
anyway, time is up, so no boundaries taking Team Footwork out of the tournament. Great match there. We'll show you guys some more weird stuff that players made and talk to you again in a second.